Okay, guys, so here's the next step in the process. Now that our profile is complete, and now that we have kind of an understanding of how we're going to approach this, one of the other things we got to do is we got to build some social proof. So before we start reaching out and contacting playlist curators, you're going to want to have a little bit of a following. You're going to want to have a little bit of social proof, right? And we don't want to waste time with fake social proof. I got a whole class coming up on that, on why getting on these people that are offering playlist placements in these Facebook groups and these ones you pay for. I've done it. It hurt my music artists. It hurt my marketing. Don't do it. Don't buy the bots. Don't pay to be in these playlists. Don't just get on any random playlist. You got to be specific and intentional on who you choose to try to go after and to be on the playlist. It's going to pay off in the long run. So stay with me on that and trust me on that. I've made the mistake. So, but you want to build up some social proof, because when you contact a playlist curator, whether it's through Spotify or somebody that's an individual has a good playlist, they're going to go look at you online. And it's proven now that part of the algorithm of Spotify, if something starts going up a little bit, that algorithm goes out and searches to see, are you on being active on Facebook? Are you active on Instagram? Are you active on other social platforms? Is there a website mentioning you? Are there blogs talking about you? It scours the internet for your music and your name and that information. So the more you can kind of build that up, it's going to help you, that social proof, authentic, real social proof, right? Not fake followers and all that crap. So how can you do that cheaply and quickly, right? So you want to, I'm going to talk to you here in about a minute how to get some more followers and more streams. That'll be the second part of this video. But this first part, I've talked about in a course that I've already dropped. And if you're in the marketing big box, you have how to grow your Instagram, how to grow your YouTube channel. One of the ones I haven't talked about now is how to grow Facebook. Now, a lot of you are like anti-Facebook, right? Because you're young and nobody's on Facebook no more. But there's tons and tons of great music groups and music fans still on Facebook. And think about this. I've talked about this a lot on Instagram. Worldwide, Facebook's still really big for young people in foreign countries. Do you think foreign people don't listen to, in other countries, don't listen to Drake or Travis Scott or Smoke Perp? Absolutely they do in all these different countries. So they will like your stuff too. Also, a lot of artists, I've talked about this before, get their first tours overseas before they ever get a name here in the US. So why would you neglect that audience, especially if it can be super cheap advertisement for you? So one of the ways to quickly grow a Facebook page will be the first thing I teach, and then the second will be on the Spotify followers. And I'm doing it real time right now for somebody, for Sonic on Famoso. So what we've done here is just open up a page for yourself as an artist or your style of music. Then all you got to do is create a likes ad campaign. So like this page ad campaign. It's right there on the front page of your page that you create, to create a campaign right there. It's really simple to do, but here's kind of the tweaks and the tricks to it. So this is the one that we started yesterday. We've already got 279 page likes, and it's at 3 cents per page like. So quick math, and I actually set this up to be a little bit difficult and a little bit more expensive than it should be for you. Plus, the fact that I'm using Portuguese instead of English is going to make the reach more difficult, and probably the costs go up a little bit. I've ran these campaigns a lot where they are 0.0004, 003, 001 per page like, less than a penny per page like, a lot of them. And I can show those to you as well. But I did this one from yesterday. I wanted to give you something real time and current and difficult to show you how the worst case scenario really should be. So what you want to do is set your page up, and then here's the math. I already kind of mentioned that, but 3 cents a like, if you do the math, for $30, I could grow this page to 1,000 likes paid, not even counting organic. It's not a lot of organic reach anymore. but 1,000 likes. So that's a pretty decent page. So maybe I spend 30 bucks a month over the next several months, you know, $1 a day growing this thing, and I'm getting 1,000 a month. So, you know, less than a year, I could have a Facebook page with 10,000 people who truly like my style of music or my artist style of music. So think about that. That's pretty powerful, pretty engaging. Then you can run ads to those 10,000 people a year from now that are following your page, and it's much cheaper and the engagement's much higher because they already know who you are, they've already decided to follow you, etc. So what you want to do is just create a really simple ad, and here's what this ad looks like. I took this picture from Unsplash. I've already talked about that in a previous video, unsplash.com. Free, copyright free photos that you can use. Kind of looks like a rapper. And then here I wrote, do you like trap? Do you like trap music? If so, follow us. In that case, follow us. So if that's all you want to do, who do you sound like? Who would people that like a certain artist would like you? So do you like sad rap? If so, follow this page. Do you like Drake? If so, follow this page. If it relates to whatever. Now, you can on your page also start posting some videos of other sad rap artists, of other, don't make it just about you. Give them a reason to want to be on the page as well. Not just trying to push your music, but because they like your genre, they like the style. You could do a bunch of fun stuff like that to keep them more engaged. But this is what your ad looks like. It basically is a free picture. It's got the name of the page. You ask them a little question like that so they know what the page is about, and then they're able to just hit that. That's what makes it so easy. They just click that, bam, they're following. It's that simple. So that's, you know, at 3 cents or less per like is really easy to do. So how do I set this up? Now here's the trick. In the beginning, to get the first 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, you want real people who like your style of music, right? They're not going to click this unless they see that, but you also want to target them, but you want to target markets international where it's much cheaper to get a like than it is in the US or Canada. So if we go over here and look at how I've set this up, you want to enter the location as worldwide. You want a worldwide audience. Then you are able to exclude people who like the page already. We don't want to run the ad to them. We're trying to get likes. They already liked it. I started with 13 to 50 years old. Now I'm already looking at the data here. Actually, let me pull it up on my phone. And I'm looking at Facebook Ads Manager on my phone, the campaign, and I got a pretty even split between men and women, which is surprising, but I'll take it. A few more men, so we'll leave that alone. When I look at age, 13 to 24 is where most of my likes are coming from. So I'll go in here now that I've ran it a day. Actually, I would probably run this 3 to 5 days, but I can already start to see the pattern, and it's normal. It's what I expected. I'll come in and cut this down. I'll cut the age back and stop it at 24. So it'll go 13 to 24. Then you want to exclude the countries where it costs the most. Australia, United Kingdom. I chose Brazil because I wanted to get an audience outside of Brazil. This artist is Brazilian, and I wanted to make it more difficult to show you how easy this is, but also try to find some new people outside of Brazil that like Brazilian trap music. And then I excluded Canada and the United States. They've got to have interest in underground hip hop, rapping, trap, famous Brazilian singer, Brazilian rap, national music, or another MC here. They also must like something along the lines of Brazil. So I want them to have a very strong, because they're outside of Brazil, a very strong interest in Brazil and its music. So they have to be this. You can do the same thing here. I kind of already talking about this, you know, underground hip hop, rapping, trap music, a famous singer that, and rap, people who like this music and like things about Brazil. So you might do exclude these countries where it costs them more to get likes, and then people who like underground hip hop, rapping, trap, sad rap, and then they must also like Spotify, Drake, Lil Pump, NF, whatever you're going after there, if that makes sense. So what you're doing instead of buying likes is you're going out and finding a cheap way to actually get hip hop fans from around the world to start to follow a page. If you don't know how to set these ads up and go through all this targeting, I mean, I've got that free on my YouTube channel. It's in the Marketing Big Box. There's plenty of other people that offer how to set up YouTube ads free. That stuff I go into deep in the courses, but not for this freebie. I mean, this is 101. You should know how to set these up. But this is a way to set it up by excluding the expensive countries to build that page very cheaply. So I hope that makes sense to you. Now let's talk about how to kind of get a Spotify following and some more streams built up there. So there are techniques for any of these that you want to go after. Just keep that in mind. And I try to include them all at the Marketing Big Box. So, if you're trying to build Instagram, if you're trying to build YouTube, if you're trying to build Facebook, I'm even got stuff I'm building on Reddit, TikTok. There's all these different places you can go. Find one or two and start building it out. Build one out really strong and then, add the second one. I love Spotify. When we're talking about Spotify, I love working with Facebook and Instagram. And if you think about it, I mean, they're data partners. They share data, right? I mean, you can use your Facebook to log into Spotify. So I think there's some weight there as well. So I hope you found that helpful. Go out and grow you a Facebook page. It's really cheap. It's really easy to do. And it's going to help you have more of a bit of a social proof and identity online that people are following you and liking what you're doing. So build those out. Build out a website, at least a page. Do everything you can to kind of get up your search engine optimization to make it easier to find. When somebody searches your name for your music, try to dominate the first 10 results that come up on Google, from your Instagram to your YouTube channel to your website to a blog talking about you, etc. Got it? Okay, guys, so one of the things that I said you're going to need for some social proof for the playlist curators and everyone else is going to be streams. You don't want them to open up your Spotify profile and you have a bunch of music sitting there with that less than 1,000 emblem next to your stream. So we got to generate some streams, and this is one of the best ways to generate. And this is actually a technique that's taught in one of those $1,000 courses that I promised that I would reveal to you. And it works, but it's a long game and it costs money and it takes some good marketing skills. So you got to have some pieces to be able to put together to make this worthwhile. But this is one of the approaches that I would use, and we do use. So I wanted to show you just a little bit about it and how it works and how you can. I'll even go a step beyond what that other course teaches to make it hopefully a little bit better. But the bigger thing to me is getting followers. Followers are more important than streams. So I would rather have an ad that gets me a good number of followers at a decent cost than even streams. What you definitely don't want to do is get on a bunch of playlists that aren't related, playlists that are full of junk music, playlists that are using bots, any of that. And there's a whole plethora of reasons why you don't want to do that. Losing your account, it messes you up in the algorithm. I've made the mistake getting on the wrong playlist for my artist in the past, and that's why we're doing this now, to try to make sure you avoid that. But let's take a quick look at this style of ad that was recommended by that course. And basically what you want to do is you want to take a small clip, video clip of the music, if you have it. And of course mine's in a foreign language because we're running this overseas, but you're going to want to put, listen on Spotify, now on Spotify. I'd probably just put listen on Spotify and run that little bar with the Spotify emblem across the video. And then there's of course a listen now that will be part of the ad, and you're going to run this only to Instagram stories. So you set this up back in the business manager of Facebook, and then again you just have a clip. You're going to put this bar across here with this emblem, letting people know it's on Spotify. That'll leap out at them, especially if they're a Spotify user. And then you can put, the title of the song, the artist, etc. And then it's got a listen now tag to it. Now, of course, setting up your audience is key for this. So it's very important that you set the demographics up in the back, who you choose. And that's a whole nother course on how to set up an ad, how to find your perfect target audience. I've got some videos on that. There's plenty in the Marketing Big Box course on that. But you're going to want to set it up, try to get as big audience as possible related to your genre of music exactly, so that you get people that are truly interested in your style of music. So you want to make it large to begin with, but somewhat niche. So rather than just going with hip hop or rap, if you sound like your artist sounds like Drake, or you do, or NF, or whoever you're most closely associated with, you're probably going to put that as your interest. the language, English language, and then you can even go worldwide on that and just start running it and see what kind of response you get. Now, part of marketing is it's testing, test, 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 test. So this was the very first one we did on this. I got some results on it. We'll take those results and tweak. So after you run the ad for, let's say, 5 days or beyond, you want to go back and say, this city, this country, this age group, 13 to 24, is responding best. You can test here, and you could, down here in the font, you could put now on Spotify. You could try listen on Spotify. You could put newest on Spotify. If you want to test that, this is all about testing. Test different parts of the 30-second video. You never know. You want to keep testing till you get the cheaper version that's getting the best results. That is what marketers do for you. So if you don't have the time to spend testing, you don't have the money to spend testing, all the above, that's why you hire a marketing expert or a marketing agency, somebody who knows what they're doing and works in music and does this for you. But I'm trying to help those who are on a limited budget, don't have the funds to hire somebody like me or one of the other companies out there. So this is what you do. You set up one of these ads just like this, and then you start testing, and based off the results, you keep tweaking it until you get the response that you're looking for. So something I've been teaching is if we take, for example, the one song that we're running the ad for, and I don't see anybody else showing to do this, and you really should, but if you take the one song you run the ad for, Facebook's going to tell you in the back that you're paying this much per click, right? But one of the things that kind of trips people up about that is it's not telling you if you gain followers. The problem with Facebook and Instagram ads going to Spotify is this. Somebody clicks on the ad, then they go into darkness, right? They go to the Spotify platform, and we can't track anymore what happens there. So we don't know if it's creating really followers. If we look at the Facebook ads context, we can't look in there and see if it actually created a stream, number one, because it has to be 31 seconds to be a payable stream, right? We also don't know if it's creating a followers, if it's building our audience. We just see how many times the link was clicked, which is good. It gives us some detail, but once they hit Spotify, then we lose a lot of that information. So one of the things that I do and I teach to do, and I don't see anyone else talking about much, is you go into your artist profile and you click on this little button right here, and it downloads an Excel sheet of the data for that song from the beginning of time. And it's a lot of great information, and let me show you how I use it. Okay, so here is what that spreadsheet looks like once it's downloaded. It's got the actual date, each date, how many listeners, how many streams, how many followers for that song at that particular time. So the highlighted area is kind of what I've went in and added. So what I'm showing you right here is just, we went in at a $30 basically test for an ad to see how it would respond. And here's what we found out. So what I like to do is I go in and look at 8 days prior. So this was roughly a 7-day, a 1-week ad. It started half a day in the front, half a day in the end. So we kind of considered it an 8-day test. So I looked at the prior 8 days, and this song was averaging just over 47 streams a day, and he had 124 followers at that time. So we did $5 a day budget. We ran an ad similar to what I showed you, and then I kind of put in here what Facebook says the streams were compared to what Instagram is saying, or I'm sorry, Spotify is saying the streams were, and we had a total ad spend of $33.35. And then I went up here and showed also, here it is, I look at the following 8 days after we ran the ad to see if there's any change. So what we found out is during the week that we ran the ad, we had an average of just over 93 streams. So we we doubled the streams that they were receiving on a $5 a day budget. We also went from 124 to 135 followers. That's what's important to me. Can we get good followers from this? Now, this isn't great for $5 a day, only picking up these 11 followers for the week. But what you'll look at is 8 days afterwards, the followers have not gone down. Now, the streams have dropped down to 50.75 streams per day. It's still higher than when we started the ad. So what that tells me is there's a little bit of organic momentum that has picked up because we got the streams up a little bit. So they are up just a tad bit, about 3 streams a day naturally now. But we picked up these 11 subscribers, and a week later, all of them are still with us. They're still following us. There was no loss. They didn't draw off. So high retention of followers. And again, for me, that's the most important thing, is to get followers and keep them. People that are really genuinely interested in your music and like it. So this is one way you can use this spreadsheet to kind of see and how your ads are working, how to test them, and see what the value is. So if you do the math on this, now this was not a great ad, right? So we got to tweak some things on it and make it better, make it more cost effective. But even just talking about this ad in itself, if we just turn this on $5 a day and let it run throughout the year, okay? So on a small budget, that's not talking about organic reach. That's not talking about anything we're doing on Instagram, anything we're doing on YouTube, any blog posts we're doing, any new music we're releasing. I'm talking about just this one song sitting at a $5 a day ad budget and letting it run. The paid values, you're going to bring up roughly about 23,000 streams on the song within a year. You got to think long term, guys. And then you're going to pick up probably roughly 700 to 1,000 true fans of your music and of this song that are going to follow you because of this song. So we can kind of already see that from the numbers. We can get a prediction. Now, if you got the budget and you're antsy and you want to compete with somebody higher and the labels and all that, well, you can double the budget, right? $10 a day. It's going to take you 6 months to get to 1,000 fans and 23,000 streams. You want to spend $15 a day, it's going to take you, what, 4 months to get to 23,000. So you can do it in 3 or 4 months if you got the budget. You can do it faster if you've got the budget. That's what the labels have, right? The budget and the connections are the 2 big things. But this is just a very basic. We run a test for $5 a day. Now we got a kind of an idea. So we're not happy with this, so we're going to tweak it and see if we can get that cost to come down a little bit. And once we get it tweaked to where we want it, then we can double the budget, we can triple the budget, whatever the artist's budget he has there, and what kind of time frame he's looking at. But don't forget, here's the beauty of this too. So all these subscribers and followers that you're picking up, it's going to snowball. It's going to be a compound effect. So you can see already the streams kind of go up on their own now. It's a compound effect. The algorithm sees, okay, this person's getting followers every week, every day. Somebody or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 are following them and saving their music. This must be something good. So let's look at the followers, and people who are just like them, we'll show this song to them too in their new release radar and New Music Friday and all these other organic Spotify playlists. And you're going to get exposure from Spotify to more people because they see that people are saving this music and liking this music. Not only that, but I told you in the beginning, you need to be releasing a song at least once a month, right? So they save your music. Now you got 135 people. When you release that new song next month, then they're going to get notifications that you have new music out, and they're going to go and check it out, and they hopefully should like it if you're not putting out trash. If you put out something similar to what they liked. Then you got to think, a month later, now you've got 250, 300 people. You drop that next song, they're going to get notifications. You see how it keeps snowballing? So you can't just look at this and say, oh, that's stupid, man, $5 a day, and you want me to wait a year to get to 1,000 followers. No, this is just one small test. It should get better, but you also should be doing a ton of other things as far as branding and promoting and pushing yourself out there. This is just how to determine a baseline and figure out what your ad spend can do for you and what you need to tweak. But I hope you get the general idea. This is what marketers should be doing, or you and your marketing should be doing, is testing and figuring out the exact math. It's going to cost me this. What's your goal? I need to get 50,000 streams. I want to get 100,000 streams. I want to get 1,000 true fans, 1,000 followers. You can do the math and the budget, and you can see exactly the time frame and everything you need to reach it. It's pretty simple. It's just data. Collect the data. Then just determine what your budget is, what your time frame is, and you can make adjustments on the go. I hope you found that helpful. I hope this whole thing is really been a blessing to you to help you kind of understand at this point how to start getting more social proof, how to build a Facebook page, how to get more followers one way on Spotify, and how to get more authentic followers and streams by treating it like a business, by treating it just like a record label would, just like a marketing company would. And what everybody else behind the scenes is charging $500, $1,000, $50, whatever for their courses. Now you've kind of got this information and you can begin to play with it and tweak it and evolve it. And listen, it's not the same for everybody. That's why you can't make a course that says, if you write this as your headline in your ad and you choose these countries and you run it between these hours and you do $5 a day, and you make your Facebook ad for traffic and not for reach or not for video views, whatever your settings are, you can't show 100% perfect settings to everybody and they follow it and it works. Test, test, test. It's going to be different for everybody. No one knows what the algorithm really says or does except for those data scientists building it. And I think Zuckerberg probably threatened to kill them if they let any of that information out. So again, hope this was a blessing. I hope you guys learned something from it and you're able to use it. If you got questions about this stuff, man, hit me up. I would love to try to help you out and be a blessing.